Hello everyone. Sorry for the delay. My name is Commander Yannick. Some of you may be familiar with me, some not so much, but here we are. How are you all doing? Are you having a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world? But as the stream title suggests, I'm going after a generation ship today, but not the one that you may think. No. Today I'll be going after the Golconda. I am going to choose an appropriate ship for this one. I could suppose technically use any kind of ship, but it seems to make sense to actually go for my conventional explorer, the Great Phantom. This seems like the best idea at the moment, to be honest. So if I'm going to do any kind of investigation, it seems best to use the actual main exploration ship that I have. Still, I'm about to leave Jameson Memorial in Shannara to Desra, and then move on to the location of the Golconda. This is definitely one of the busiest stations, I think, in the whole of Elite. Really, I mean, FleetCon private group at the moment. So sometimes you do see other commanders here, and this is probably the busiest form of the game outside of Open. Let's see if there's anyone here that actually is recognisable to me. I can't see anyone as yet, but you never know. Yeah, at the moment I am using autopilot to get me out of the station. But I think that's just a good idea and stops you from colliding other ships, and I can do other stuff at the same time. Obviously I'm on manual everywhere else pretty much, so actually outside the bubble. Right, let's boost away from the station and let's navigate away. Oh, damn it. I hate it when this happens. Ah, dearie me. That's better. The actual ship destination. Okay. Now this is an interesting system, because for once there isn't actually a huge number of fleet carriers here. There is only in fact one in the system that I can see, which is unusual, because like 90% of the time anything vaguely interesting in a system and you're going to find a fleet carrier or 2 or 15 or 20. This actually has a fair amount of normal stations as well, and outposts, and actually a mega ship too. Which, yeah, they're still around, but they aren't as interesting as they used to be. Just they're parked there, and there's basically immovable fleet carriers and all but name. But yeah, there's some quite large stations here. So, but anyway, I will go to the upcoming system here. And Planet B3, which is the location of the Golconda, a generation ship that was discovered some time ago. But yeah, I mean, obviously I think people are probably aware of the recently discovered, sorry, the recent generation ships that of interest, and especially because being covered in Galnet. But because everyone's doing that at the moment, it seems a bit obvious. It's like, wow, if I'm going to do generation ship stuff, it might as well be something that's a bit arcane and not the obvious thing. It's only 4 jumps away, so this is part of the reason I also choose to use this very jumped up, literally, jumped up. Crate Phantom. It's because I can get between different places in the bubble very, very quickly and having less need to muck around, really. There's no problem with like the previous ship I was using, the Courier, which had that range of 35 light years, which is perfectly respectable for an explorer. But I'm not using it as my prime explorer, especially not at the moment. Something very sort of, you know, useful and I suppose familiar about the Crate, whether the Crate Mark II or the Crate Phantom. It's a very good flight model, very predictable, fairly manoeuvrable still, but you know, very consistent ship. It's manoeuvrable, but it's also quite easy to control it precisely as well. The problem with the very manoeuvrable ships is that the more manoeuvrable they become, it's sometimes more difficult to actually fly them precisely. Not always, you do get exceptions. But there are often ships that they're just so agile within Elite that, you know, it is difficult to fly with any great precision. Obviously, some of this does depend also on your setup. Like, the more precise a controller you have, the easier it is to actually, you know, make precision moves. Assuming the pilot behind the controls is capable of doing that. But that's the thing, is that good controls never make, you know, a terrible pilot good. And even with terrible controls, a good pilot can usually do something with it. At the moment I'm playing with a gamepad. As I do have Hotesses, but at the moment they are somewhat knackered. So it's not something I can really do much with as of now. If you can hear the music in the background, I'm trying to sort of play it in the background as a sort of, you know, bass level. To see if that actually does okay, because I could use the in-game music, but I think I'm going to leave it for now. I mean, obviously I'm trying to get a good balance with my own voice and the game music. I'll increase maybe very slightly. I hope that's okay anyway. The game music isn't too loud or problematic. Okay. Brown Wolf. Only one more jump to go, and we shall be there. Ah, what a beautiful day. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are as well. One of the things that I find particularly, I don't know, pleasing I suppose is the right word, about the Odyssey Alpha update is that this whole hyperspace witch space sequence has actually been updated, and I think I like the newer one slightly better. And those of you who've got the Odyssey Alpha or been watching some of the Alpha streams be familiar with this now. And yeah, it's not like a sort of radical overhaul, but it's sort of like, you know, different enough to be sort of noticeable. I like that. I mean, the actual flight model, obviously, within Odyssey is the same. The basic, you know, ship layout, HUD, etc., all the same. Subtle differences. I think there's obviously the game lighting has changed. I mean, that does affect the cockpit even to some minor degree, but the lighting is generally somewhat darker in most places. And there aren't any sort of over bright sources like stars when you get very close to them, or especially spacecraft in FSD drive and Super Cruise. Because obviously those Super Cruise ships, particularly for VR users, have been excessively bright. And something that, you know, wasn't much fun for a lot of people in VR, like constant complaints about when they couldn't come into a system or seeing lots of spacecraft in Super Cruise, just being blinded by it. And yes, I personally don't have VR myself, but I know so many people who do, and I've it's there's so many people who've said that. I don't think anyone who I know who's got VR hasn't had this problem at some stage. Still, I think this is part of the reason that Frontier have actually changed the lighting in the Elite universe. Is partly just to do with a sense of like balance and realism of different bodies and relative brightness, but it is also to do with they say that the experience of VR users, which is apparently one of the best games for VR. Obviously you need a pretty powerful PC to run it properly, especially with Odyssey coming around, but even on Horizon you need a fairly powerful machine to be able to run VR fully without any sort of slowdowns or problems. I would like to, but it's have VR, that is, but not yet. I mean, eventually I would at least like to try it. I think for obviously streaming probably won't be so useful, but yeah, generally speaking, it's fine. Interesting, this B3 gas giant here is quite a different orbital path to the others. That's why I keep orbital lines usually on, because it shows different sort of astronomical phenomena. I know you can actually look at this in the Aurora review as well, but I keep it on by habit because, you know, before the Aurora map was a thing in Elite Dangerous, you used to have, the only way you could see the orbits of different bodies was to switch orbital lines on. Still, yeah, we're looking for the remains, or otherwise, of the generation ship Golconda. The Golconda. Host's choice. Station. Outpost. Okay. Hershey Statistics Bureau. Sounds interesting. Almost sounds like the Gold Conda, but it's not quite. You can get actually gold paint jobs for Anacondas. So yeah, it's we're shortening Anaconda just to Conda. Gold Conda. Golden Anaconda. Okay, now I've got the lock on the Golconda itself. Fingers crossed it should not be a problem. And it's always easier if you can find ships this way. There are some generation ships that you find by, you know, going to a star or planet and then sort of finding a certain bearing from there. Those could be interesting in their own way. I think recently the ones I've been visiting are mostly, you know, easier to find, so you don't have to spend like, you know, 15 minutes in Super Cruise looking for them, which I would otherwise have to do. I'll change that, I think, over time, but we shall see. Okay, oh, I see. It's like, yeah, the Golconda's actually orbiting inside the rings of the gas giant. I like that. I think that's very nice. That's very cool. The Golconda. Yeah. So we're trying to get the optimum flight path around the gravity wells here. It's probably quicker to actually approach from across the rings rather than trying to round the gas giant like this. Or the planet. It could be a solid planet. And it's all planets, of course, but ones that are actually have solid surfaces. Not far away now, anyway. Rotate this slightly so you can see the gas giant at the side, to the left. The Golden Conda. It's like not just the Gold Conda, but Condor. I don't know if you've seen the 80s anime, The Mysterious Cities of Gold. It literally has a an aircraft that is a Golden Condor, which is amazing. You only find clips of this on YouTube, but it's pretty cool. I think it was like a French-Japanese collaboration, but very much an anime kind of style. Yeah, here we are. Just having a quick scan around the ship to see what's going on, what's different, what's new. Well, new is like what's different compared to other ships. Agricultural installation, forester's choice. So let me see. The civilian outpost of choice is actually very nearby, 30 kilometers away. I may check that again in future, but not just yet. Agricultural installation, 20 kilometers away. I'll check those out in a bit, because these actually provide some extra bits and pieces to see. Okay, what I am going to do is scan the core of the Golconda, and then hopefully the various data points will actually make themselves known to us. A little bit of a bug last time in fact, actually getting them to activate, but then I went to another I went to another generation ship sort of off stream, and they were actually working there, so it was a bit of an odd one. But anyway, right, let's go to try and scan. Data link. I need to get closer, I think. If I target it properly. Okay, thankfully I've done that. Okay. Finally. Excellent. Actually, I'll do the nearer ones first. Actually, they're all over that side. I think there's another one over here. I'll do one this side before I do the others. And I'll do that one next. Okay. Excellent. Data link scanner. Come in range. This thing has to be in range for these things to activate properly. Goody. Right, here we are. Where's the nearest one? Let's click on that. The actual layout of the Golconda seems to be relatively conventional compared to the other ones. So there isn't an insane amount of variation on these. There's just some variation. Okay, let's close in. Yeah, it might be easy to scan from the other side actually. I think it is actually located on the other side. Yeah, I'll use my thrusters to go around. It's always a good point, a good idea close in. You can use your throttle, but it's probably easier to use thrusters sometimes under these circumstances. My thrusters to slow down again. Got 2 uplinks done. Okay. The other side of this big dish, or shield, I think it's supposed to be a shield actually, for various planetary interplanetary debris, I think. Heard another theory that it was actually supposed to be a shield for a propulsion system or a reactor. I don't think that's the case necessarily. It's probably more likely to be for a physical shield for the ship, or even more likely, the front end of a hydrogen scoop. Because obviously there is still hydrogen interstellar and interplanetary space. There's just much lower density. Yeah, sort of over there, isn't it? I'm gonna have to move myself kind of sideways to reach that point. Okay, let's go forward. This is the old agricultural dome stuff. It's been pointed out recently. It's an obvious thought that those domes are probably rotating angling the wrong way. Yeah, I need to get closer. If they wouldn't have artificial gravity, they have to be angled inwardly, not outwardly. Okay. Be very careful when moving around these larger structures. You don't want to get caught up within them. Which is, yeah, can be easy to do sometimes if you're not careful. Some ones like this are relatively easy to get to, but one of the other ones we went to previously, not so much. It's not hard, but just need a little bit of care and consideration. I'll play all of these in sequence in the near future when I have the opportunity to do that. Okay, that one's, I think, near enough for a direct scan. Don't have to go around the other side. Have I got all of them now? I think so. There's 5. Do I have all 5? I think I do. I'll back away a little bit here not to get caught up in any parts of the machinery. Yeah, that's fine. It should be okay. Right, I'm going to put the music on mute for a second, just so I can hear the logs more clearly. Okay, here we are. Ah, it's a voice acted one. Superb. Okay, great.
This is Captain Jonathan Forrester. The Golconda colony needs your help. I don't know how else to say it. To anybody hearing this is what's happening. We have a full colony of people on board this vessel. That's tens of thousands of people. And until recently, we've been entirely self-sufficient, but supplies are starting to run low. More specifically, we're lacking a lot of technical components, air filters, water recyclers, circuit boards, things like that. And it's getting harder to patch this equipment up every year. There's only so long we can make do with what we have. And the other thing, and this is the real kicker, is that there's a disease going around which is knocking us sideways. Flu-like symptoms, but much more serious. People are dying. We're coping as best as we can, but our medical supplies are running low. And if this turns into a full-blown epidemic, then we're going to be in real big trouble. So I made the decision to reach out to you, whoever you are. Hopefully the tech's moved on enough for our signal to be picked up this far out. But the others really weren't sure if I should be doing this, because people here don't want interference from outsiders. But I don't want to worry them by explaining the reality of our situation. They're good people. I don't want them to be scared. So here I am, recording a call for help. Trust me, I wouldn't be asking if I didn't need to. I feel like I don't really know how to do this. I hope you understand. It's been a while. Captain Jonathan Forrester, signing off.
This is Dr. Shay Tandis. Captain Forrester has asked me to summarize the situation on board the Golconda, particularly in regards to a recent outbreak of disease. I must preface this by saying that any attempt to summarize the situation feels inadequate. There is so much to say about the symptoms, the development of our detection methods, and existing treatment philosophies. Nevertheless, I will attempt to speak concisely for the purpose of this broadcast. The disease, known colloquially among the people as the wasting kiss, is a mutated strain of viral nasopharyngitis. One of the drawbacks of living in an atmospherically self-contained structure for hundreds of years is that illness tends to linger. We can't very well sterilize a ship of this size, and with each generation these illnesses adapt to remain virulent. This one particularly so. Antiviral treatments aren't particularly effective, merely delaying the disease's progress. We have confirmed 6 deaths in the past month attributable to the disease. Our medical supplies are somewhat limited, adequate for maintaining health and the occasional serious illness or accident. In the event of a full outbreak, with hundreds of patients requiring treatment, we may be forced to resort to measures such as full quarantine and isolation. When the captain first suggested opening communication with outsiders, I must confess to a certain hesitation. On reflection, it would seem the logical decision for the well-being of the crew. One can only imagine what pharmaceutical advancements have been made over the last millennia. The possibilities are fascinating.
Rick Blanchard, Security Chief of the Golconda. First things first. The safety and protection of the people aboard this ship is my primary objective. During my tenure, we've reduced the rate of crime aboard this vessel by 32%. Violent crime is rare, and there hasn't been a murder in over 6 years. My team are well-trained and do this ship proud in how they address the very specific demands of the Golconda. You might think an isolated, spacefaring colony of thousands with no horizons, seasons, or other planetary benefits would have gone mad and initiated some kind of mass tragedy. Well, not on my watch. Which is why I need to be clear in my opposition to the captain's decision to send out a distress call. Humanity doesn't enjoy a stellar record of respecting the rights and well-being of indigenous communities. Hell, we don't know what humanity is anymore past the confines of this 1,000-year hull. The risks outweigh the advantages. I'll follow the captain's order, because he's not let us down yet. Got a good mind, that one. But I'm asking whoever hears this message to understand that we're looking for a trade of goods and resources only. Communication with the general populace of the Golconda is forbidden. Messages regarding developments outside of the Golconda is forbidden. Direct contact between outsiders and Golconda colonists during an exchange of cargo is forbidden. We've always dealt with hard times ourselves. If it were my call, we'd deal with this by ourselves too.
This is Erin Gray of the Golconda. It's my responsibility as custodian to manage the needs of our people and ensure that everyone is fairly represented. I'm recording this message to satisfy the curiosity of anyone who may respond to our distress signal, I suppose. Truth be told, I'm not sure what to say. We're more than just a colony, you see. We're a family. Whenever a challenge is put in front of us, we resolve it together. When success is achieved, we celebrate collectively. We have... It's hard to put into words. Our ancestors chose to remain on this vessel centuries ago and leave our original destination behind. They did so because they had grown to love what they had achieved. Logs from that period show their anxiety at the prospect of leaving the Golconda. The generation ships were designed to keep colonists healthy, happy, and entertained, and somewhere in our journey, we came to feel loved too. And yet, all things must come to an end. Sickness is rife and supplies are low. After so long fending for ourselves, the time has come to seek assistance from a civilization we no longer know. The captain believes that humanity has a heart and will come to our aid. If you're listening to this message, we're probably going to find out if he's right soon enough.
Thomas Cobb, chaplain. I serve the Golconda, and the Golconda embraces me. Long ago, I would have been called a priest, somebody authorized to provide guidance according to the rules of a religion. That's the role my predecessors fulfilled, at least. Eventually, the old texts were set aside in favor of a less rigid spiritual philosophy. Being able to view the entire nebula over breakfast inclines one towards the contemplative. There are few things more reformative than a sense of complete insignificance. Now, my role is to show my brothers and sisters that we are all important. Each of us has a role to play. We cannot concern ourselves with the scale of the stage. All we can do is deliver the best performance we can. Each person aboard the Golconda can trace their heritage from the first inhabitants to the current day. In the present, we contemplate the spirit and the soul, allowing the voices of the past to inform our future. Our respect for them, combined with our belief in each other, creates a community of hope. And here we are, over 1,000 years later, about to reach out a hand and hope that humanity accepts it. What lies in store for us, I wonder? What lessons have been learned from history? While I am nervous at the thought of outside assistance, I must admit, the question intrigues me. What did we become?
What indeed? Yeah, it does seem the tale of the Golconda is one of the happier ones, I'd say, of the generation ships. Most of them, as you no doubt notice, seem to be quite tragic. At least the ones that have been discovered seem to be quite tragic. Yeah, as always, excellent voice acting. Genuinely great stuff. But yeah, it's this is really an Outpost Forrester's Choice that I think are named after the captain of this. The thing is, as far as I understand, the inhabitants of the Golconda were then left, so given a station to inhabit, to keep their community together. And I think there's like a cultural installation, maybe the same thing. I wonder if there's actually a data point there. There probably is. I'll go and find out. Here we go. The boosting of this ship's relatively good, so one of the reasons I like it, it's quite a balanced explorer. It's got enough boost to actually motor a fair bit. Okay, agricultural installation, show me what you have. I think I'm slightly too distant to look up a scan yet, but I will soon. Aha. There's some other craft here by the looks. Yeah, there's the agricultural domes over there. Facing inward, yeah, the right direction. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's the thing, if you're obviously going to have agriculture in space, you have to have the artificial gravity centrifugal force. It's not really artificial gravity per se, is it? But yeah. Okay, I'll have to slow down now. Okay. Scanning the agricultural installation. Yeah, there's a ship nearby. Hackable data transmitter. I think I will have a look at that. See what it has to say. Again, I'm going on to maneuvering thrusters. No docking. Yes. Yes, indeed. Get a bit closer, and I'll try and scan. That was close. Sub-targets identified, eh? Power capacitor. Cargo bays. The agricultural installation itself. Nearby generation ship of the Golconda. Yeah. Let's click on the cargo bay. Yeah, the private data link there scanner didn't actually reveal anything particular. Okay, let's try and scan this. I don't think anything's going to be revealed by it, but you never know. Oh, actually, that's a good point about the sub-targets, isn't it? Huh, yeah. Yeah, I need a limpet to do that. I think you need another what's it called again? Yeah, the reconnaissance limpet, I think. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that's a good point. Hackable data transmitter. I would have to have the yeah, exactly, the sub-target would show the reconnaissance limpet. I don't have yeah, I don't have the reconnaissance limpet controller at the moment. I could go dock at Forester's Choice, I suppose. I don't think I can scan it. I'll try it though. I'll see what happens if I do. It seems like a wise move. Or at least an interesting one. I think I can dock at this actually. That's the thing, it's different, isn't it? But Forester's Choice. And then you compare that. If the trade ship is different, the agricultural installation is a different. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, let's try this and see what happens.
Docking request denied.
Yeah, I didn't think that. It was definite they would give it to me. Maybe that's the point. It's supposed to be these other ships. What do we have here? Is it the wreckage or something? Ha. Yep. See if I can sometimes find interesting pieces, elements to the structure. Maybe I can fly through here. I often can in these structures. Not always, but sometimes you can. They don't look very big, but they usually are big enough to fly through. I don't think you can fly through this one. From biggest side to side. Will it open when I come near? Maybe not. I can't boop it, can I? No. It won't go open. Okay, fair enough. Actually, let's look what is in here. Huh. Oh yeah, you can fly out the other side. It's a bit Star Wars, this, isn't it, as well? Flying through the interior structures of stations. Okay, this is not the Death Star, but it's a shield. Might be. Yeah. It's definitely having it's a good idea to do sort of Death Star trench runs if you can get away with it. Yeah. Power capacitor. It's interesting that this is scannable to this degree. I'm going to go back to the agricultural installation to just check out the details further. But yeah, they're in pretty close proximity anyway. I didn't actually realise that they were actually this close together. I assumed they were nearby, but not like in such deep proximity. Yeah, I'm very close to the sides here, aren't I? Yeah, I should probably back off a bit to avoid colliding with the structure. It's the Golconda over there. Yeah, only 1 kilometre away. Yeah. This choice. Secretary Statistics Bureau. I might go to that in a minute as well. What's this thing called? Does it have a name? Maybe it doesn't have a name. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Golconda's nearly 30 kilometers distant. Oh, that's Forester's Choice. Yeah, it's the relative difference between the two, isn't it?
Docking request denied.
Yeah. Fair enough. I didn't think it necessarily would, but it's always worth a go in these kind of places. Don't know why I feel a compulsion to dock here, but I do.
Docking request denied.
Maybe I just can't dock here at all. It's entirely possible.
Docking request.
Oh, it is actually granted, so I can dock here. The interesting thing, if you could do that, have like a permit to dock in certain places, not a system permit, but a docking permit. That would be a very good thing to have in the game. You know, like you've got to be at a certain level of, certain allied status maybe, or at least, you know, friendly status with a local power who controls the station. Or if like it's a, like let's say, scientific research station, you've got to have the permit for that station. That would be great, I think. Yeah. I would like that. That would be fun. Or at least interesting. This might be a good time, I think, to actually have a short break, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. And hello again, I am Commander Yannick, and welcome back to the stream. Right, here we are. We are staying at the Forester's Choice Golconda Union, I should say, facility, next to the Golconda generation ship. Yeah, I'm just having curiosity going here to see what's happening. Right, you have a quick fly around the complex still. Okay, yes. Trying to keep everything within bounds. Agricultural installation. Yes, there we go. Quite a few ships around here, surprisingly so. Central agricultural installation. Yeah, this is the thing, it's the artificial light obviously is projecting onto these wonderful sort of biodomes, really. I mean, you can just sit there and watch as they sort of rotate around the structure. It's kind of beautiful, really, in its own way. Yeah, it is. It's definitely pretty to see. And you've got the gas giant there sitting in the background. And it's not the brightest of gas giants anyway, but it's still good. It's still nice to have, nice to see. We'll probably move on from this facility in the near future. But for the next few moments, at least next few minutes, I will probably still orbit this place. Or kind of hover around it, not really orbiting it, am I? Yeah. It's getting a bit of a distance to this. Yeah, you can see the facility a bit better that way. I'm going to move over here very slightly, so we can get a good sort of external camera on the situation. Yeah, let's go to external cam and see what we can see. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a good shot, I think. Quite a lot in that shot as well. You've got the two sort of rings of the agricultural complex. Yeah, it's not a bad sort of little system, this, is it? I think there's a few other things going on elsewhere, but ultimately, it's yeah, I like it. I do like it. I'm just gonna sit there for a while and sort of watch it unfold. Yeah, as you see, there's the other spacecraft as well. You see the trails of the exhaust of them. A surprising amount of ships here. This is the thing. Sure why particularly would be such an important installation, but for some reason it seems to be. At least in terms of activity. There's an interestingly pretty stream up there. I think I am going to probably get going in a second, but as in like from this station, not from the stream. Not yet. Yeah, this is not the most exciting looking gas giant I've ever seen. But it's still spectacular though. I'm going to go to the system map to see what we can see. I don't think there's anything particularly sort of fascinating. Having said that, there is always Keller's Resolve. What was the other place that was in the system we found earlier? That was it, the Associated Statistics Bureau. Let's go there and see what that secret it has to tell. May not be anything, but some of these stations or sort of orbital platforms can be interesting in their own way. So we'll clear the mass lock first. Still need to clear up. Yeah, excellent. Right, come on, let's go. I didn't mean to sound sarcastic, it sounded a little bit sarcastic. Ooh, look at the rings. That's very nice. See how it sort of skips along. Haha. I realised we were quite that close. I realised we were going to be near the rings, but not that near the rings. So we've skipped along the surface of them. Shouldn't be too far away from it then. Yeah, I have to back off a little bit. Should be fairly straightforward. Come on, come on. This is being a bit slow today. It just seems slow. It's in orbit of that frozen body. Very sort of basic looking place, isn't it? The frozen body, I mean. Yeah. Fairly standard. Nothing particularly unusual or interesting about it. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, here it is. It's a fairly substantial station. Government installation, apparently. Right, let's scan it properly. It looks fairly shiny and sophisticated in comparison to the agricultural one. Then again, it says government installation, some kind of admin, depot of some kind, I don't know. Admin installation. Looks quite sophisticated, whatever it is. They say it's very neon and gleaming metal. Thinking the best way to get to the government installation part. Maybe is it going through the centre of the installation? Very possibly. I'll fly through there anyway because it's fun. Isn't that a good idea? I think so. Ah, can I even get through this actually? Probably not by the looks of it. Don't think you can enter these. No. That is not possible, unfortunately. Actually, I can scan the centre of this installation anyway, so... Okay. Fighter bay. Power node. Hackable maintenance hatch. Yeah, I like the ones previously. Actually, is there a sub-target? No, there isn't. Ooh, intriguing. Huh. Okay, well, I'll have to go the other side of that then. Is there a nearer one than that? It seems there is. Okay. I don't think I can get to that one.
Hostile forces in range, requesting assistance from any nearby pilots. We need help.
I see. Installation director. Requesting assistance from nearby pilots. I don't think I can scan from this distance anyway. Authorized vessels only. Fair enough. It's attacking me. Go away. Damn you. What are they attacking me for? I'm just hanging around. Gits. That was a bit rude of them. So I was supposed to be the hostile forces, was I? That's a bit nasty. Probably some people just don't like themselves being scanned. Oh well. I shouldn't be too concerned about that. Well, that's answered one particular question. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave the system actually. It makes a lot of sense. I could go to one of these other places within the system. I mean, yeah, I do have repair capabilities here, but is it really worth it? Yeah, probably not. Having said that, I'm going to go to another system and I'm going to see what else is going on. Should probably go Corewoods. I think I've been there before. Interesting name. Yeah, let's move Corewoods. A system that's worth looking at. High-tech boom. Yeah, this might be worth looking at. After a while, especially having more than one account, you sometimes forget exactly why you actually put a label on the system in the first place. Yeah, I'll dock here. Right, I'm gonna jump to the system, probably only a couple of jumps away anyway. Yeah, this shouldn't be too problematic, it should be fine, but yeah, it's just keeping the sort of balance of the sound as well, not just flying. Somewhere interesting. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's pretty good, really. I feel like going straight back to Shinra to Desra, but that seems to be a bit of an obvious thing to be doing. And I will always at Founders World. What I will do, yeah, just I'm going to repair the spacecraft and then move onwards. It's definitely the best idea. Yeah, I definitely didn't plan on being attacked like that. I would have taken him a stronger spacecraft, especially in terms of shields, if I knew that was going to happen. I think going to an abandoned settlement may actually be a really good idea. Continue on a planetary one as opposed to one in space. But Ottoman Dock. Yeah, that's quite close to the star, relatively speaking. To back off a bit. There's always thing with these stations close to the star. You always have to be, fairly cautious in your flight, otherwise you'll end up overshooting. Ah, yes. It's like a landable. Probably. It's a fairly low gravity one, isn't it? By the looks. Well, it's like barely a sort of sphere at all, that one. You know, when the gravity of a body is only just strong enough to compress it into a sphere. That's exactly how that one looks. It's not quite potato-esque, but it's kind of closing in on that. Yeah, I'm closing in on the dock. I'll be there quite soon. Just to drop out in a second. Right. Yeah, we're pretty close. Blood Brothers from Al Rai. Never heard of them before. But again, there are so many factions.
Okay, Commander. Land on pad 05. You are go for automated docking. Enjoy the ride, Commander.
Yeah, apologies for my silence there for a second. It's I actually got another visit to my Discord, which actually not that many people have done so today. I mean my gaming Discord, not my other ones. I run quite a few Discords, but they're for various Elite Dangerous groups. Repair and a refuel. Auto launch, I think, yep.
Docking clamps retracted. Regulate speed until outside the exclusion zone.
It's waiting in the queue, isn't it? Like I feel like a very mundane thing to be waiting in queues for things, but on a space station, hurtling around a planet, hurtling around a star. This is like the mundanity of the 34th century. It's not bad though. Not bad at all. Ah, yes.
All clear. Till next time, Commander.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will actually be it seems a good idea to say go to an abandoned place. I was just thinking of picking the best possible one. Obviously, recently, Dav's Hope was the place they went to. Could go to Jameson Crash Site. Haha, that might be an interesting one. I don't have too many in my basic list. I will zoom out a bit. But no, there are various places. I don't think I actually finished with my solar system tour from the other day. That's the thing. I think it might be a good idea to resume that. Yeah, that makes a great deal of sense, actually. Let us go there. There for the Gagarin. I was gonna say expedition there for a second. It's not the Gagarin expedition, is it? It's the Gagarin tribute, and then meet up at, which is later at Dav's Hope. But I was flying around Earth as part of the Gagarin tribute. Go to the Sol system anyway. And there are various little stations there as well. Only one jump. That's good. I don't know if some of you have seen the Odyssey Alpha Space Cowboy sort of, I don't know if you call it a bug or is it a deliberate sort of in-game joke, but whatever it is quite funny. Notable presidents there I see ahead of me. And there's various congressional streamlining. Yeah, there's lots of beacons here, I think, in the system. Unregistered comms beacon. Actually, let's go to some of these places. What other stations there are as well. Capital ship. Actually, that's a very good place to go. Shouldn't get too close to that one, but it's still worth a look. Yeah, we're approaching the capital ship. There's quite a lot of places within the Sol system that we can go to. Seven human signals detected. Mars high. Mars itself is interesting because even for like terraform body within Elite, it's unique looking. You see like the reddish colours at the edges. Here we are. Yeah, the sort of reddish bits where it meets the greener than the blue of the sea. I was to find that in other places, but there may be. This was like the first terraform world. Probably shouldn't get any closer than this. Yeah, I'm gonna assume they're probably talking about me, so I'm gonna back off. Yeah, I think you have to back off to a certain degree. Or is it 4 or 5 kilometers or something like that? Yeah. But you can definitely see the capital ship. A good view. It's a good view though. The different wings of spacecraft, and then the capital ship itself. Yeah. Ah, that's great. Yeah. Farragut class battle cruiser. Yep. Starship 1. See the President of the Federation's flagship, probably. Guess I would have thought so. Federal Navy ship. Yeah, I just thought it was a bog standard, well, not bog standard, but probably modified anacondas. But you can get some nice recordings from them, nice data. The shield distorted cycle in this case. See what else is in orbit of Mars. Relocation. Let's go to that one. I think these are tourist beacons. They're quite easy to find and scan. I think you're just looking more for interesting information rather than the actual visuals so much. Yeah, you've got to be yeah, at least sort of fairly cautious with these things. Only, I suppose, with the Federal Navy or any other military, if you annoy them too much. Most of the time the stations don't have a problem with you flying around. Unfortunately, in this that last case, the Golconda system, it was not such a good location to be in. He's going to give me a warning before and just said, "Oh, you're going to be attacked." Like, thank you. Ah, dearie me. Right, here we are, location. Tourist beacon. Okay, let's see what the tourist beacon scan does say. Ah, interesting. Yeah, talking about the foundation of the Federation and Achenar breaking away, which then became the foundation of the Empire. Moving Congress from Earth and Washington to Olympus Village on Mars. In Frontier First Encounters and Frontier Elite 2, Olympus Village is a landable starport on Mars itself, which I've landed on many times. But yeah, at that point it's still known as the sort of legislative capital of the Federation. The massive natural resources being offered, exported from Achenar, counts the benefits of their superior Federation technology. Intriguing. Other tourist beacons nearby. Second terraforming attempt. See, I don't think I've seen all of these tourist beacons, so some of these are actually new to me. Let's go and find them. Yeah, that should be fairly straightforward, I think. But yeah, to like the Earth, within Frontier, within Elite Dangerous, Mars is actually unique in the way it looks. I think actually most of the bodies of the solar system, and all the planets at least, are unique in their own little way. They've been modelled particularly for the solar system in this, rather than being procedurally generated. Yeah, we're nearly there. Second terraforming attempt. Right. Always belugas in these places. I know orcas sometimes as well, but belugas definitely. Second terraforming attempt. Oh, this is quite a short one comparatively. Yeah, techniques were crude by later standards. Yeah, it makes sense. Non-human relic sounds a bit yeah, sounds a bit like a certain Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but yeah, that was a good one though, to be fair. Let's go there then. Non-human relic indeed. Okay. Non-human indeed. First non-human relic was found in 2280. Buried on Mars. It's interesting, it says that no information circulated the properties of this item, its origin. To make you wonder what about that actually was so problematic to the authorities. Was it Thargoid technology, or was it Guardian or another civilization? Let's go to Tara Biggs's collection. Or Tyrrell Biggs's collection, depending on how you look at it. Fly around the other side of the planet. Pretty pleasant looking place though, Mars in this. See all the lights of the planet down there. Wonder if we'll finally be on Mars in real life, that is. I hope it's within my own lifetime. And lifetime of everyone listening as well. That would be nice. I mean, I think it will be. But you can never be sure. I think landing back on the moon is definitely going to happen in the near future. Mars is almost certainly going to happen. Okay. See what the here we are. Interesting. I'll approach the Imperial Court proposition that the Imperial system has joined the Federation as full members. Yeah. Go elsewhere within the system. There's a few more interesting tourist beacons hanging around. Pilot's Memorial. So. Isn't this the recent Frontier Developments site? Memorial to passed on commanders, I think. If this is the one that I remember correctly. You're slowly getting into Super Cruise at the appropriate speed. There's interesting messages about, valor, bravery, courage, etc. It's like, well, not so much, not in this at least, anyway. I'm going to fight a war in this game, it's going to be for a good reason, or at least somebody or something that I like. So obviously if you're part of a faction and you're fighting like BGS wars, that's totally understandable. Yeah. Right. Pilot's Memorial. Climbing above the plane of the solar system. The orbital plane. There's Luna, the moon. There's Eris all the way out there. Oh no, we won't go. Really? You don't say. Yeah, I always like that sort of orangey reddish sort of glow around the outside of the space, outside of the planet. Right. Actually, let's get a little bit closer to this one because it looks slightly different to the usual design. Scan it first. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, this is fairly recently added, isn't it? The Pilot's Memorial Beacon. Yeah, these are all real commanders, real people. All of them memorialized here. Though obviously there are other memorial beacons elsewhere in the galaxy. I don't know if they've been subsumed into this one, but they definitely have been in other places. Yeah, it's very touching and quite sad in many ways, but it's a nice touch to have added in the game. Let's zoom into that. We can see a bit closer. Yeah, it's I don't think I've seen anything quite like this with this particular design. Like solar panels. And there is my spacecraft just over there. Sort of reddish colour. I will zoom out slightly from this, but it's beautiful, it really is. It's a bit bigger than I anticipated this, actually. See, look, compared to my fairly small crate. See, look, it's not really the distance either, it genuinely is quite large. Bigger than an anaconda, possibly? Yeah, well, even if it isn't, it's quite substantial in size. Yeah, it's lovely. Genuinely is. Yeah, I will. It makes a great deal of sense to go elsewhere and let me see a couple of other tourist beacons before I decide to go back. It's Planetary Road Trip. I heard that one before. Guess go see the Planetary Road Trip then. Sounds good to me. Let's take an angle that's slightly off so that we can get there. Very little gravitational drag. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Be there quite soon either way. Yeah, we'll soon drop down to the tourist beacon. Yeah. It's a planetary road trip. Generally don't know what this is actually about, so maybe I'll find out. Okay. Early in the third millennium, a high-profile business magnate made headlines for launching a car into space. I wonder who that could be. I wonder. That's blatantly Elon Musk, isn't it? So the vehicle itself soon acquired the status of a valuable cultural artifact. I didn't try to do that, trying to reclaim Elon's car into the futurist Tesla with Starman on it. Yeah, the prevailing theory was that the car was stolen by pirates. Well, fair enough. It's a nice touch, though. Nice, nice. Birthright Wars. So what else there is deep into the system? Europa Ice Geyser. Chargaff Reach. Decker's Yard. Yeah. Enceladus or Enceladus, depending how you pronounce it. Yeah. Conjoint Mathematics Services. No one quite knows why Triton has a permit required. I suppose it's to make it more mysterious, possibly, because I don't see why Frontier Developments would actually have a single planet within a system permit lock. Because obviously they have some systems, a whole section of the permit lock, so they as the test areas or for future content. But otherwise, it's like, well, I don't know. Actually, let's go to the ice fermial. I mean, there are other places that it could have gone, but yeah. Like the Europa geyser. Pirate activity detected. All these outer planets or outer planetary system, large asteroids or sub-planetary size objects, dwarf planets. Okay. Might go to Titan actually, that might be more fun. Still, I think as a place it's always worth visiting the Sol system. Durrance Camp. Yeah, Europa Ice Geyser is worth watching as well. Shakti Reformatory. Gallon Scandal. I might have noticed that one before. You got Galileo in orbit of the moon. Maybe I will return to Founders World this. I probably won't, but I'll do other things definitely. I mean, it seems like a wise move to go elsewhere, but yeah. Gonna get going in a second actually, might be wise. Boost away. Yeah, ultimately there are sort of various crashed ships at different places. Might go to Jameson's crashed ship in the not too distant future. Yeah, I mean, obviously, say places like Dow's Hope are always interesting. There's one of the crashed Thargoid ships hanging around. I think I might go there actually. That sounds like a good move. I think you have different exploration camps as well in different places around the galaxy. Yeah, this one looks like it's more distant, 1,000 light years out. Yeah, might be worthwhile to have somewhere like that. Other sort of intriguing, or at least interesting places near the bubble. Yeah, I think as I remember, these are all about 1,000 light years out, approximately. Yeah, I think the Coney system may be a good place for this. Right, I'm gonna go jump out. I'm not too far away, maybe 2 or 3 jumps. 2 actually, I think. I think so. Gotta switch to analysis mode. Coney or Connie system? Coney, I think, probably. Yeah, I'm still trying to chase the followers goal. Yeah, I'm trying to find 50 followers at the moment. I've got halfway to that. So the planet A2 I'm looking for. See if it's here on the surface. Yeah, it's right at the depot I'm looking for. Nice, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna slow down so I don't overshoot. Coney A2, eh? Yeah, I'm just trying to find this old abandoned base. Actually, I don't think this is actually abandoned. It's it is still inhabited, but there is actually a very useful scan that can be gained. Right, here we are. See if they hassle me or not. The Rawat depot. Maybe I'll actually try and land nearby and then do the last bit by SRV. It's just fast orbital cruise, but at the moment I'm just gonna go there by boosting, because I'm 74 kilometers away. It's not far. Normally I would try and just like super cruise out again, but at the moment, actually I don't know, maybe it might be easier to do it this way. Yeah, it might be, mightn't it? Let's do that. FSD cooldown. Yeah, it's nearly there. Super cruise out and back again. Super cruise out. Came in too quickly. Yeah, I'll let it super cruise out a little bit longer. Yeah, fly out a little bit further and then return. Nearly there. Need to fly across slightly to get an angle on this, otherwise, yeah, the angle is too steep. And altitude as well. Okay. That should be alright. Just slightly annoying when that happens. I thought it would be okay for glide, but it wasn't in the end. See, this angle's a lot better as well. Okay, I came in too fast, that was the main problem. Wasn't really the angle so much, but it helps to always approach these sort of moderately shallow angles. Obviously for high gravity worlds you have to approach them at these very shallow angles. But yeah, this is more the kind of speed that I'm talking about. Because otherwise, like I say, it will just disengage glide, or it will just not get there in the first place. Arrowing glide seems to be going quite well. Fingers crossed. Yeah, as I say, I think I'll probably land the SRV somewhere nearby. If I can land it on the actual settlement itself, then wonderful. See what it does. If they start to complain, then I'll fly further away. See, I always tend to aim for settlements slightly above it, so that I've got a certain amount of altitude to play with. Because you don't want to run out of altitude, whatever you do. Even if you've got a good shield, you still don't want to test it too much if you can possibly avoid it. See these sort of outcrops here of the base. Yeah, I think I'll leave it then. Okay, I think I'll probably park over here to clear the so-called trespass zone. And I think the SRV will be okay. It might not be, but I haven't been in one of these kind of facilities for a while. Yeah, there's that kind of triangle I think of around the base. I think I'd have to then go out and attack the various drones as they come up. The skimmers. Yeah, I think I will touch down. I'll probably bring the stream to an end in the near future. And then sort of continue this whole business probably tomorrow or another day. Trying to find a place to land. Okay. And we're down. Bingo. Quickly go to the external cam before I do anything else. Right. There it is. See in the centre there's that sort of outlying part of the settlement, and there's another one there. I think they're in a sort of defensive triangle around it. And then in the centre, you've got the base itself. There's a sort of column of light in the middle. And there's a spacecraft flying over there as well. It's flying kind of in this direction, approximately. Ah, no, it's down. It's turned now. Maybe it's flying a perimeter flight. Yeah, possibly. Awesome, though. Great. I will leave it at that. But yeah, thank you for everyone who watched the stream today. It's been great, and I will see you all in the next one. Until then, fly safe, fly dangerous, and fly whatever way that you wish. Have a good one, and I will see you soon.